In this episode of NCAP TV, we'll show you how to replace a broken Cimex Waterfeed elbow. Stay tuned.
Today we're going to show you how to replace the water feed elbow on your Cimex machines. Some of the older ones were plastic and they broke right here on the back side of the bumper shield for your water feed. So the first thing we're going to do to replace that is take this white shield off. All of your Phillips head screws come off, and that'll gain access to our bowl that needs to be removed in order to get to that. So you take that off, and that exposes what we need to take off to get the bowl off, which is this center pulley for the motor. So the first thing we'll want to do is loosen this bolt that's holding this center pulley in place. And you're going to have to use a pneumatic or an electric pneumatic because it's on there fairly tight, and the bowl or the shaft will want to spin. I've already loosened it, so I'm going to show you. And once you crack that loose, then you can take your belt off. You can just peel it off with your hands as you kind of rotate it. It'll bite you a little bit if you're not careful. Now we can take off this center pulley, and I've gotten this puller from the automotive store. It's for a power steering pulley. Works really well. You might have something similar available. So again, you'll want to use a pneumatic, electric, or air pneumatic gun to loosen this. It'll pull the pulley off. It's on there fairly tight. It's not a super tight force fit, but it'll need some help. So I've already loosened it, so this is coming off pretty easily. There you go, there's your pulley out of the way. Now we can gain access to our snap ring, and our snap ring is what's holding this bowl in place. So we'll take the snap ring off with these snap ring pliers. Alright, peel that off. There's our snap ring. Now the bowl can come off of its seating. And it might need a little help with a mallet on the top of the bowl. So there's our two water feed elbows. So they used to be plastic, and of course plastic tends to break pretty easily. What we're going to do, there you have it. The new water feed elbow. That one will last. It won't break like the plastic ones. So we simply take the two Phillips screws here from the top, and there's a nut here, and we put this one in place, and you can put a new flexible hose right in between these two. You could also replace this second one. It normally doesn't break. And just an additional note, if you happen to need to replace your bumper shield, it's a great time to do it, because now that you have your bowl off, you can see here this shield is starting to crack a little bit. Sometimes they get dented, so that would be a matter of releasing these bolts here for your pivots and your 4 bolts that hold the motor. So here we've gained access to our water feed elbow that's broken, and what I've done is there's a little nut and a screw that holds it on. These plastic ones aren't threaded. So we've taken the 2 nuts off, used our flathead screwdriver or Phillips depending on what style's on there, loosen that screw from the top half of this here, pull those screws out. There's our old water feed elbow, old screw. We're going to pull that off of there, and we're going to put a new little piece of hose there too for our new water feed elbow. You can cut this off of your existing solution hose. You usually have plenty of length just to get a new hose in there along with your new water feed. And we're just doing the one that broke. This one, yes, you can replace it, but normally they're just fine. They don't get hit or abused or anything. So here's our new water feed elbow. Along with our new hose. And we'll put 2 new screws from the top to attach that back onto the bumper shield. So there we've got our brand new brass water feed elbow in place now. You can see it here. And here's our new section of hose. So now we're ready to put it all back together. There, it's back seated. Now we got to put our snap ring back on. Just making sure it seats back into its landing there. Just giving it a tap. There you go. So that's back in place. Now we can put our center pulley back on. Center pulley goes back on with the slots facing out. And the keyway is going to have to line up with that keyway right there.
So what's a keyway?
Well, they don't weigh much at all, actually. There, bottom's out. Now it's ready to be bolted back on. So here's your bolt and lock washer and washer ready to go back on. And again, just like you did when you took it off, you want to use an impact gun to tighten this down, because as you can see, the shaft wants to turn with the bolt. So after you tighten that down with an impact gun, electric or pneumatic, you're tight, everything's in place, ready to go back together. Belt goes back on. Once you get it started, some are a little tough to stretch. You might need a little vice grip, but that one was already stretched a little bit. So there you go. It's all back together. Put your shield back on, and you're ready to go with the new water feed elbow.